So this is the home page in our own common data environment. And what I want to illustrate here is one of the projects that we're working on at the moment. A lot of our sites have multiple locations, or they're along a length of shoreline, along a beach, and they aren't individual locations where we can rely on using a 3D model. In fact, very often we don't have a 3D model to work with unless we've actually started doing some survey work and setting out work ourselves. So in this case, the River Way project has got 7 locations. As I say, this is our common data environment, so we've got work in progress, shared and published, communications and photos. If I go up to the right-hand side, as well as the listing, we can go into the map area. And that goes and looks for any KML files we've set within the Riverway weirs, and here we are. We've got the one that we've set up for the locations. The project's quite new at the moment and isn't really up and running yet. And if I click on Ham Oils, because that's the area that I'm interested in, it takes me straight into the pin for Ham Oils. I could click on the pin, but because I know which site I want to go to, it's actually already opened up the dialog box. And what we've got here is a number of hyperlinks, each with their own title. So if I stay away so I don't keep flicking the thing up. So the top one is site-specific drawings. On these particular sites, there's a series of weirs down the Riverway, and on each site, there are some drawings that are specific to that location. There are a number of drawings that are generic and apply to all of those locations. Problem is with using a normal search function, if you're looking for all the drawings at Ham Oil, you won't find the generic ones unless you put those generic ones in every location. As soon as you start creating multiple drawings of the same drawing or multiple locations of the same drawing, you've got the problem of you've lost your version control. By using this method, we've got the site-specific drawings with a hyperlink, and we've then got the general drawings, but they still appear under Ham Oils. If we went to Broadmead Weir, I'd get the same set of general drawings. I also get a site-specific map, and I get a site access map. And all our teams have to do is basically click on site-specific drawings, and it gives me a list of all the drawings relevant to that site, which then I can then filter into these various areas by who's created it, by the description, or whichever way I want to do it. To get back to the home page, I'll just click on BC, and I'll show you our Shoreham project. So this is the one I talked about earlier, which is where we actually developed the system. And again, with standard layout, we've got WIP, shared and published. We've also keep our tender information in there as a baseline, and we've got communications and photos. If I go into the mapping on this particular project, it's 7.2 kilometres of piling and groundworks. So there are an awful lot of boreholes. If I click on the boreholes and I list the boreholes, you can see there are 1 or 2 boreholes there. Finding which one you actually want to look at, which one's relevant, and which is the one that you need to use isn't always easy. If I, for instance, want to know where this borehole is, it takes me straight into the mapping and it takes me to that borehole. If that isn't the right one for where I want to work, and I'm actually working the other side of the railway, and I click here, it will just transfer across, and I've then got the link to the log, and I've got the link to the main report. The main report's about 300 pages long, and most people want to read it. If you're an engineer and you're looking for something specific, you may want to open it and you can get there. Most of the guys on site, the site engineers and our piling guys, they can do this on their phone just as easily as they can do it on a laptop. They can get straight into the log and they can get that information to find out why their piles suddenly stop going in the ground or what may be an issue.